All righty. Well, a very pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the first ever virtual business after hours brought to you by the Key West Chamber of Commerce. We've been missing you guys out there. We've been missing these monthly meetings. We can get together and share an adult beverage and talk some business. So we thought we'd come to you in this virtual format and spend a little time with you with a little fun this afternoon as well. So my partner in crime for this virtual business after hours is the Poppy himself, Bill Lay, who is joining us from his Benihana restaurant. And Bill, I'm going to toss it over to you with a question. Hey, the governor says we can open up these restaurants at 25%. What say you?
Yes. Well, I say that's a step forward in the right direction. It's definitely not where we have to be, but at least it's a little kiddie step moving towards an end to this so we can get back to some normality.
All right. So Benihana and your La Trattoria restaurants will be maybe takeout and delivery, and we'll hold on for.
We are. Benihana is doing takeout right now. We've been doing it, I believe today marks 1 week that we've been doing takeout. Coming in the near future, La Trattoria at Oceanside will be doing delivery and takeout service. And as things progress, we'll kind of play it by ear, and as things move along, we're going to make that call on to open up the restaurants depending on where we're at that time. Unfortunately, it's kind of a judgment call at this time. It's day by day. So, we're just going to move it forward. Always glass half full, moving forward.
All right. Well, let's get on to the business at hand. Having a little fun here this afternoon. This is a drinking game. If you want to sip on water as you get the right answers, that's fine. But if you want an adult beverage, we thought, hey, you're sitting at a bar right there. Maybe you could tell us what we might want to think about drinking.
All right, well, welcome to, right now we call it Konpai, but it's also probably going to be called Akabar, which means red in Japanese. That was named by Mr. Darren Horan, who's my business partner here at Benihana. He's not here right now, so I'm filling in, and God knows I'm big enough for both of us. But right now, I'm going to introduce you to the master of disaster, Mr. Onur, one of our great bartenders. He's been here for 7 years.
7 great years.
And he's going to mix up one of our popular items called the Blue Ocean. And I think the recipe's up on the screen for you.
It is.
And we've got some Malibu coconut rum, pineapple vodka, sake, blue curacao, calpico, lemonade, pineapple juice, and a little bit of club soda to finish. Onur, I said that fast enough. You should have kept up with me, buddy. Come on now.
You were very fast.
Say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody? I hope everybody. I'm waiting to see you.
Absolutely. Onur's also getting ready for tonight because we're going to open up at 5 o'clock. And I got to tell you, the response we've gotten from the community has been overwhelmingly awesome. I mean, it's been a great, that's what this community is all about. Everybody's supporting everybody. Oh, let's go back to the Blue Hawaiian. Excuse me, the Blue Ocean.
Baby Blue Ocean, yeah.
And there you go.
There you go. All right.
Ever so safe paper straw.
Eco-friendly.
Eco-friendly.
Well, hopefully all of our viewers are also getting a drink of some type, and they're going to play along with us here because we actually want to go this way and play a little Key West Jeopardy. What do you have there? You got
Mr. Daniels and Coca-Cola.
Okay, well, Mr. Daniels and Coke can play along as well as we play Key West Jeopardy. We're going to see just how much Key West trivia you know there, Bill Lay. You're going to play along with me live. Our friends are going to play along with us at home. And these are the 6 categories, okay? It's going to be characters, probably Key West characters, on the map where something's located, strictly business, our business friends, field of play, probably has something to do with sports, potpourri, which could be anything, and then before and after, which I'll explain a little bit later. The way this is going to work is I'm going to go across all the 200s, left to right, all right? You just play along. I'm going to give you the answer, give you about 10 seconds to come up with the question. You get it right, score yourself 200, keep score, because at the end of the game, we're going to have a final Jeopardy. And you know what? This is Honest Abe Jeopardy. We're going to let you email us. If you think you really have a good score, email us, and whoever has the highest score, we'll come up with some Key West Chamber tchotchke for you. So across the board, 200s first, and we'll run through it. You ready to play there, Mr. Lay? You think you can do this?
Hold on, baby. It's game time. Hold on. I got to get ready.
Oh, okay. Get the rally cap on.
No wrong answers.
Yeah, well, don't hurt yourself. You froze up on me there. don't hurt yourself with that knife, okay? Because you know, these are hard
Yes, sir.
questions, and if you don't do well, you know, you may get violent with yourself. So just be careful, okay? All right, here we go. Key West Jeopardy. Look at the bottom left. It's the category. It's characters for 200. Okay, so these should be easy. Characters for 200. Till death do us part didn't count for this count. Till death do us part didn't count for this count. You have to go back to, I think, the 1930s for this one. Any ideas?
Dr. Count Cosell? Cosell? I don't remember the name. It escapes me.
Who is Count Carl von Cosel? Yes, he's the gentleman who he was. Yeah, he was a radiology technician. He was one of his patients was this young Cuban girl. He fell in love with her after she died. 2 years later, he went and dug up her body and lived with it for several years. I mean, it was like worldwide news. Can you imagine if that happened today? Okay, that was characters for 200. This is on the map for 200. Okay, the other end of US 1.
I got it.
The other end of US 1.
What
Calm
is
down.
Fort Kent, Maine?
And the gentleman says, what is Fort Kent, Maine? 200 points for Bill as he's flexing. I don't know if you can see, but he's flexing at Benihana. Oh, yes. Okay. Strictly business for 200. Key West Handprint Fabrics printed her first designs. And this was not one of them. This was not one of them. Key West Handprint Fabrics printed her first designs. Any idea? Your compadres, I think, are trying to help you out. Any idea there, Bill? Oh, come on. You got to know it's Lily Pulitzer.
Oh.
Lily Pulitzer.
Yes.
Started right here in Key West. All right, here we go. Field of play for 200. On the gridiron, he was known as the Matador. So a Key West sports figure known as
Scott Atwell.
Scott Atwell. That is the wrong answer. Who is George Myra? Who is George Myra? Finished third in the Heisman balloting. Great quarterback. There he is on the cover of Sports Illustrated, one of our very own in Key West. Okay, here we go. Potpourri for 200. He designed the Conch Republic flag.
Ooh.
He designed the Conch Republic flag. Look, I got people trying to chat with me here. They know that we've got this.
I'm going to say.
Our friends are. Oh, look. Claire is trying to answer and say it's Mario Sanchez. Well, Claire, that was a good answer, but no, it is.
Who is Dennis Wardlow?
No, who is Claude Valdez? Of course, Dennis, when he proclaimed the Conch Republic about 30 years ago, or is it 40 years ago now, actually adopted Claude Valdez's design of the Conch Republic flag, but I think it was actually designed as far back as the 1960s. Okay, this is before and after. This is a category where we're going to tell you what it was called before. What is it called now? Before and after for 200. So I'm starting with an easy one, Bill. Come on. Tank Island.
What is Mystery Island?
What is what?
Sunset Key?
Thank you, sir. Yes. Tank Island was was true. I don't know. I don't know if they can see you, and you have to speak, I think, in order.
Yes.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Okay, let's go to the 400s now. Okay, let's see. They get a little harder now. So characters for 400. Lawrence Wagner's shtick revolved around his amour for this number. Lawrence Wagner's shtick revolved around his amour for this number.
I can tell you I have zero clue. 7.
Who is Love 22? Have you ever heard of Love 22? He just made he became famous down at Sunset, walked around town, had 20. You have no idea who this guy is. I think he's still alive.
I have never seen him.
He's a Key West character. Love 22. Okay. On the map. On the map for $400, tallest building in Key West.
The Navy building.
The what?
The Navy building.
Which Navy building?
Fly Navy.
The gentleman says, what is Fly Navy? And that is $400. I think was it.
Navy. No, I got it. Yeah.
So 600 now? Okay, good for you. All right, rock and roll is here to stay. Okay, strictly business for 400. Here you go. Largest employer in Monroe County.
Ooh.
The largest employer in Monroe County. Could be
waste management.
Waste management, you say. One of our viewers is trying to answer this question, asking Keys Energy. Carrie Bond is saying Keys. No, that is not correct. It is actually, believe it or not, the U.S. Armed Forces. Oh, 20 oh, no, it's that's not tricky. What is the U.S. Armed Forces? Yeah. All right, here we go. Field of play for 400. The colors of the Conchs. The colors of the Conchs.
White and red.
Yeah, you see, this is the thing here. I'm going to be, you know, as a Key West High School grad, I'm really going to be specific about this because it's the opening words to the fight song. So you have to be specific what the colors are. You have to be specific. I mean, it's in our fight song, for crying out loud. All right? So, sorry, you're not going to get the 400 because it is crimson and gray. On with the crimson, on with the gray. Listen to us while we say it. Okay, enough. Okay. Potpourri for 400. Hemingway's first Key West residence. Hemingway's first Key West residence.
It's not the Hemingway house. What is the lighthouse?
No, it is, what is Casa Antigua there on Symington? You familiar with that building?
I am, yes, right on the corner of Rose and Simonton. That's right.
It was a hotel, and he got off a boat. He was waiting for his car, and he stayed there for, I don't know how long, maybe a month, several weeks, and boom, next thing you know, I love Key West, and the rest is history. Okay, let's see what we got next here. It is before and after for 400, Dredger's Cay. Dredger's Cay. You know, the truth of the matter is if you actually called up a map on your iPhone right now, it would actually might still identify it as Dredger's Cay.
What was it before? I do not know. Oh, we got.
Oh, what is it called now? It is called Sigsbee Park.
Ah.
You can see in this aerial photograph how it was dredged out from the shallows there. So before and after.
Should have known that.
600s now. Going to get even harder. Okay, are you ready? Characters for 600. Some people carry lizard skin purses. John Meek just carried them.
Iguanas? What is iguana?
Look at you. What are
Booyah!
iguanas?
Yes, sir. Baby. Woo!
The iguana man. Of course.
600 points.
No one ever knew his name. I mean, if it weren't for the internet, you wouldn't know John Meek. But yes, the iguana man. What a strange character. Okay, on the map. When 1964's Hurricane Dora forced them to waylay in Key West, the Beatles were headed for a concert in this city. On the map for 600.
What is Havana?
Havana?
Yes. It's a guess.
It's a guess. Let me see. Someone's chatting in here. Someone just said Havana. No, that's not correct. The answer is, what is Jacksonville?
Made a wrong turn, I guess.
Yeah, and that's a picture of the Beatles there at the Key Wester. Of course, the Key Wester preserved that room where they stayed. It's now the bar out there by the pool. So yeah. It was a very, very big deal for Key West. Let's see here. Strictly business for 600. Before growing Historic Tours of America into one of the largest history-based tourism companies in America, Ed Swift sold these. This predates you. How long have you been in Key West, Bill?
99.
99 years?
No, 1990.
Okay. Yeah, so this is a tough one. If, people would know that Ed Swift sold cameras. Swift's camera shop was right there on Duval Street across from La Concha. Ed's dad was a photographer for a newspaper photographer like St. Louis Post-Dispatch or something, got him into photography, and so they opened up a camera store. Okay. What's that what? So this is field of play for 600. You get drinks. Field of play for 600. The Key West Sun Caps played there. So did Jimmy Buffett in 1988. The Key West Sun Caps played there, and so did Jimmy Buffett in 1988. Any idea?
Margaritaville. What is Margaritaville?
What is Wickers Field? It's the old baseball stadium there next to Pointe School where I think the George Myra complex is now. But the Key West Sun Caps were our professional baseball team, and Jimmy Buffett played there famously in 1988. Potpourri for 600. The Arches at Old City Hall kept these at bay. And I'm coming to you from Old City Hall here on Green Street behind the behind Sloppy Joe's. The
What are
arches.
birds?
What are what?
What are birds?
Birds. No. What are fire engines? This was the firehouse and the police house. And I read something recently that was really interesting. You know, they have all these stories about Bumfarto, the former fire chief. He actually grew up right here on Green Street next to this building. And that proximity, he was always in there with the firemen. And that's how they gave him the nickname Bum, because he kept bumming rides with them whenever the fire engine went out. But yeah, this was the firehouse, Old City Hall. Okay, before and after, $600. What used to be called Kings Point Marina? What do you get, 600 bucks? 600 bucks? You could double your money right here, Bill Lay.
Conch Harbor.
What is Oceanside Marina? What is Oceanside? It was called Kings Point because we had a city manager named we had a city manager named King. I don't know if it was Dan King or Bill King or whatever King. And so he had property out there and he named his own property Kings Point, and then they built a marina there. And so that was what it was called back in the 70s. Oh, time for the 800s. Getting serious now, okay? Characters for $800. Say what? You're breaking up. You're breaking up on me. William Hackley is a well-known Key West citizen because of his devotion to this. William Hackley is a well-known Key West citizen because of his devotion to this. Now, the answer, there's a clue in this answer. But I see you must not read the Key West Citizen, because what is a diary? He is the guy in the 1800s who kept a diary, and Tom Hambright at the library has transcribed it. And every day in the Citizen, the guy with the diary. Yes, okay. That he was a character. Okay, so on the map for 800, the phrase, "I told you I was sick," can be found at this peak. The phrase, "I told you I was sick," can be found.
What is the Key West Cemetery?
Well, you know what, Bill Lay, I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that. Because the Key West Cemetery can be found on Solaris Hill. And that was the technical answer, because it's the highest part of ground, which is where you would want to put a cemetery. And old B.P. Roberts, who died in 1979, that famous headstone, "I told you I was sick." Okay. Here you go. Strictly Business. You're going to get this one. I know you're going to get this one. Strictly Business for 800. Monroe County's top restaurant in gross sales. So by my count, you've got 1,400.
Conch Republic Seafood Company.
Bill Lay says, "Booyah!"
What is
the Conch Republic Seafood Company.
Yes! Yes!
The top grossing restaurant in all of Monroe County. Who could blame you? I mean, what a great spot and great food. And yeah, so let me see. That's another 2,200, I guess. I'm doing this in my head, but I think you've got $2,200. Okay, back to sports. Field of play for 800. Key West High School has more of these than anyone in the state of Florida. Key West High School has more of these than anyone in the state of Florida. Remember, it's sports, field of play.
I'm going to say, what are baseball players?
Boy, you're so close. What are state championships in baseball?
Oh, all right.
11 state champions. They go back. My dad played on a couple in the 1950s when they started that run, and Ralph Enriquez, of course, is taken with it and has his own. So, yeah, we're the best in baseball. Okay, this is an interesting one. Potpourri for 800. Captured in Key West around 1849. This image is famous for this. Captured in 1849. This image is famous for this. Let me check some of the chat because people are having fun. What are 10 roofs, they're saying? The roofs. No, it isn't the roofs.
Great Fire?
No. It's really interesting. What is the oldest known photo of Florida? This was a daguerreotype that was taken in 1849. If you go to the state archives, the oldest known image they have of anything in the state of Florida was this image, most likely taken from the lighthouse. So Key West in 1849. Pretty interesting. Okay, before and after. Used to be called the Victoria Restaurant. It's worth $800, Bill A. Victoria Restaurant, before and after. What's interesting is I mentioned Bumfarto earlier. His father was the manager of this restaurant, if I'm not mistaken. That might give you a clue as to where it's at. And would you believe it's what today is called Sloppy Joe's?
Oh, I did not know that.
The Victoria Restaurant, right here. I'm standing a few feet. I can see it out the window. Okay, let's go. Oh, the $1,000. Okay, it's the money game now. $6,000 on the line. Are you ready? Here we go. And characters for $1,000. Captain Tony became Key West mayor by defeating this former chamber president. Former Key West Chamber of Commerce president was...
I'm going to get in trouble, but who is Virginia Panico?
No, that's not a bad guess. You know, that's not a bad guess. The answer is, who is Tom Sawyer? Tom Sawyer was the mayor of Key West, and some of you might know that we did the Tom Sawyer 5-Star Award, so that name is probably familiar to you. On the map for 1,000, when it comes to Florida history, Key West has 125 of these. When it comes to Florida history, Key West has 125 of these. Got some chats going on there. I see what they say. Bridges, historic landmarks, oh, Claire, you've got it right. Claire got it right. What are the state historical markers? We have 125 of these. I tell you, that's pretty impressive, because you have to go through a whole process to get something designated a state historical site, and then you have to raise the money for the sign. So to have 125 of them really speaks to the kind of history that we have here in Key West. Okay, we're at strictly business for, for 1,000. And I must admit, this is hard. If you weren't in Key West, I'm going to look at the chat room to see if someone knows this. Former Chamber President William Appleruth was a Duval Street haberdasher under this name. Former Chamber President William Appleruth was a Duval Street haberdasher under this name. He had a store on Duval. I bet we've got someone who's the Mad Hatter. No. Haberdasher is not a hat. It's clothes. So no one's got it yet. Shoes. No. It was a store that was called Apples. Apples. It's where you get your clothes. That was a tough one. Let's go to Field of Play for $1,000. Field of Play. Key West's only first-round draft choice. Field of Play. Key West's only first-round draft pick. Any idea there? Any idea?
I want to say, who is Adrian Peterson, but I think he left here. I'm going to stick with Adrian Peterson.
The answer is, who is Randy Sterling? Or the question, Randy Sterling. Close. Yeah, you were close. I think he was actually the 4th overall pick in 1969. That was a big deal. You still see Randy Sterling around town, and his son by the same name as well. Okay, potpourri for 1,000. The Conch Republic was born in 1982 when the United States Border Patrol set up a roadblock and inspection point on US 1, checking motorists driving in this direction.
South. What is south?
And that's why it's sort of a trick question. We got a couple folks who actually have answered it. Someone said west. I love it. No, it actually was north. They thought that there were people coming out of the Keys into Dade County who may have had drugs, other contraband, and they were checking the people driving north.
Who is Bumfarto?
Oh. All right, final regular one here, before and after for $1,000. It used to be called Racoon Key. Before and after for $1,000. It used to be called, in fact, I think, again, if you get on your iPhone, it'll still call it this in some.
I'm going to say, what is Ramrod Key? But
Claire has it right. I'm looking here at the chats. Claire has it right. No, it's actually pretty simple. What is Key Haven?
All right.
It was Racoon Key. So this is the time now. Add up your scores. Bill, I did it for you. I think you've got $2,200. So everyone add up your scores. We're going to play a final Jeopardy game here as well. While you're adding up, I think it's time for another drink. So why don't you show us another one so we can take one home with us to go.
So everybody, welcome back. We're here at a cow bar, the Red Bar here. By the way, just to give you a little tour. Of course, we build a bar when they have social distancing. Now we've got some TVs, and let's go back to our friendly bar neighbor, Mr. Anor.
We got some red plum sake sangria on the making.
He's making a red plum sake sangria.
Okay, here you go. This is the recipe.
Yeah. A little plum wine. Sake.
A little bit of sake.
Oh,
Pomegranate juice.
pomegranate.
Hibiscus syrup, key ingredient.
Key ingredient is hibiscus syrup.
Okay. Wow.
Shaky, shaky.
Shaky, shaky. Washy, washy. Cleany, cleany.
Okay. The club soda. Okay.
And our eco-friendly straw. Dun, dun, dun. There you go.
I love it. All right, man. I can't wait for you to be open so we can come try that. All right. Are you ready to play? Are you going to wager all $2,200 on Final Jeopardy? Bill, I think you froze up on me again. Talk to me, my friend. You're freezing up on me.
I'm going to bet it all.
There you go. You're going to bet it all. Okay, here is Final Jeopardy. So, ladies and gentlemen, just in your head, decide how much of your pot you want to bet for Final Jeopardy. And then, again, it's the Honest Abe version. So here we go. And Final Jeopardy, the first sitting president to visit Key West. The first sitting president to visit Key West. All right, so we've got you said Truman, I think.
I did. I know there were 3 presidents. I'm going to stick with Truman, but I think Taft was one of them and Clinton was another. But I'm going to say Truman.
Wow, you sure?
I already said it, so I got to stick to it.
Someone said John Kennedy. The answer is da-da-da-da-da. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. A little technical difficulties. Who is William Taft? Who is William Taft? You had it. You had it, Bill Lay. Yes, in 1912. There were actually 2 presidents before him who visited Key West, Calvin Coolidge and Ulysses S. Grant, believe it or not, but it was after they were in office. This 1912 trip was shortly after the railroad opened, and Taft was going to Panama City, Panama, so he rode it all the way down to Key West on the railroad, and then got on a boat to head to Panama. But he was the first sitting president in 1912.
Well, cool.
Well, man, you almost pulled it off. You were there. You were there. You were there. Oh, my friend.
It is time for my punishment.
We did this in 30 minutes. How much fun was that? We can't wait to visit you at Benihana. Thanks for taking part. You know what? The $2,200, I'm going to give it to you anyway. But you know why? Because it's play money anyway. It's play money anyway. So we look forward to having Benihana open. We look forward to having more real business after hours in the future to commiserate with our members. I hope you've enjoyed this, and we're going to have it on video again, so you can send it out and share it. Be a great little thing over the weekend if you want to share with your friends and see how they did as well. All right, very good, Bill. Keep up the good work at Benihana and La Trattoria. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, everybody. Arigato.